YouTube, and let's see if we are live. Let's see. Setting up, guys. Maybe another few seconds. Okay. Charles, are you nervous?
You're so nervous. I'm
I'll wear my
You're so nervous. Yeah. So, okay. Cool. We are live. Yeah, that was
Holy crap. There's a lot of
live. We are.
Sophia
yeah.
Pavlidous on LinkedIn.
Oh really?
Really?
I'm the one with the
Look at you.
black and
LinkedIn right
white
away.
black
Which one?
and white background.
You're black and
No,
white.
black
Okay.
and white. Yeah, the black and white photo.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting
I
that
thought
many.
it's
There
a
you
very
go.
rare name. I never heard that name.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that
There's
a
like
common
10
or
of
name?
them
maybe
on LinkedIn.
surname.
You said it's a common name, Sofia. How do you say it?
Sofia
Pavlidou?
Pavlidou. It's Greek.
Nice.
So
It's
yeah,
Greek.
in Greece it's not like extravagant. It's a normal surname.
Normal surname. Okay. I mean, even my name is common in India, but people have not heard it here. So we share a common sort of a name, which people outside your country probably
Yeah,
don't know much, but it's a common name back in India. So that's what is common between you and me. See, while we talk and keep it free flowing, like in a good conversation in a relaxed environment at home, these things start getting ideas built on ideas. It start getting manifesting. Conversation leads to ideas, and ideas are eventually manifested. That's what I believe in. Now that you're Greek, some philosophy to start with.
yeah, exactly.
Ch- Charles, what are you in a mood of? What was your meeting about? You said you were in a meeting.
Oh, it's just some strategy stuff to do with the underwear.
Yeah, the Innovator brand. Talk to us about that. Right, jumped right in. He's like, I am in a mood to come and pitch. Are you now into the pitching mode?
Somewhat. We're gonna be launching the website soon. Like I don't have the website's not up. So one thing I learned about investors is they like pretty things
Hmm.
just as much as they like substance. So like for me, the website and the brand, at least the early stages of the brand, are so irrelevant. But for investors, they're like, we want to see the website up. I'm like, I spent a year in development on this underwear. Who gives a shit about the website? So gotta get the website up.
You know
Uh,
why? You know why? If I were them, just to put myself in investor's shoes, because I keep working around them, right? See, they need to see that you can market this, right? You can sell this. They know
mhm.
that Charles can create a good brand design. They know that Charles has built a good product, your underwear product, your innerwear product. We can talk about it in a bit. But how do they know that Charles can actually sell this, right?
Mhm.
So these signals, these website and your social media content, and maybe content out of this live stream, when it goes out, it shows that Charles is now out there, and what he's building is interesting. More and more storytelling, right? It's
Mhm.
eventually it's all about that. So I don't
Mhm.
blame them, man. Get your website up.
Yeah, it's on the way.
Yeah, we also joined by Dia. That's a surprise. Dia is joining in from India. She's a design student, and I like bringing in people who can, learn from other people in other part of the world. So thanks, Dia, for joining in. Why are you here? 10:30 at night.
Just here to learn.
Just here to learn. Okay, we'll start making a course out of it soon. Who knows? Where this live stream can go. But good you joined in. Sofia is originally from Europe, Greece, and you've lived a lot of your life there. Dia was recently in Italy learning design. And did you happen to travel to Greece or no, Dia?
I really wanted to, sadly I couldn't.
Okay, we'll go together. I really want to, especially after the movie Odyssey. So,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, it's just a reminder that, I need to see in real, because I've always loved philosophy, reading about, recently I read that book, Manifestations by Marcus Aurelio, I think. The King, Marcus Aurelio. It was really fascinating. I don't know if you read philosophy just from you from Greece. I don't want to put you on a spot.
Yes, I'm not a philosopher or a lover of philosophy books, to be honest. But look, there are a couple of principles that you grow up with. So, for example, like it was always within our learnings that we know we have Socrates, and you mentioned like the Odyssey, right? These are the books that we studied growing up. So it's
Mhm.
also like interesting for us to see it unraveled in front of a huge screen, right? And how other people and Christopher Nolan tells like the story and the mythology, which is super fascinating. So
You guys
all
have
of the
lived, you lived through
yeah,
that. The movie is not even that exciting. Was it exciting? Did you watch it?
I watched it. Yeah, I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. I have a lot of like love for the cinema and for his like work in general. Like Memento, Inception, like the
Oh
best
yeah,
movies ever. But he gave his own touch to the movie, right? Like
yeah,
you don't always expect to see exactly how the Greek mythology unravels, and if like every character was depicted in the way that we like grew up with, but it's
yeah.
nice to see like this different adaptation of it, and it was like a masterpiece. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
But if I was a Greek like a philosopher, like a historian, like that I'm studying like Greek mythology, maybe I would have a different view. For me now, it was appreciating the art, which
Yeah.
was much what I really liked about it.
He's a
I think
vibes
so.
guy. I
He's the
think like
vibes guy.
so like yeah, all his I mean, it was really funny in the movie when Matt Damon, famous Greek actor, said the Bronze Age is ending. It's like somebody in World War I being like, "Oh, World War I is ending," you know.
Hmm.
But Nolan's no dummy. He does this on purpose because he's like his movies are not meant to be overthought and
Yeah.
and and
Yeah,
it's all about vibes. Like even,
yeah, and
Tenet.
there are memes going around, people saying my life is like a Christopher Nolan movie. I have no idea what's going on.
There's so many memes out there. That's a funny one. In fact, I feel that even the cast has been talked about. Why did they take like an African American actor?
Yeah,
Why did they take this and that? And I
yeah,
was like, man, he can do that. He's actually making a statement of diversity by intentionally putting them in those roles because he can still have a very good movie out of it and still make a
yeah.
point. And he wants it's big for him, right? It's his principles, right?
Yeah. Um, Let me offer you my personal opinion on that. First of all, Christopher Nolan is very much known for choosing his cast. The cast is a repeated cast, right? He has worked with Anne Hathaway before. He's worked so many times with Matt Damon. Like he
Yeah.
chooses like the Killian Murphys of the world all the time, right? So it's um it's so like it's how he works, that he wants to work with actors that he has worked before. So that's why he's choosing those actors. I don't think that he overthinks it
Retention,
as much as
retention
he thinks.
over
Yeah,
acquisition, right?
I don't think that he overthinks it as much as everyone else does, and he chose like an
Yeah,
African American to play
Mhm.
Helen of Troy,
yeah,
etc. But look, is it a statement that he's making? Maybe, but he's in every power to make any statement he wants, and we're here
yeah.
to appreciate the art. And at the end of the day, everyone's talking about it. The movie's only going better if everyone's talking about all these tiny details. So
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
The fact that people were freaking out just from the trailer, and then when it came out, like when I watched the movie, my only feedback was, bring earplugs because it's really loud. But like none of
It'll
the diversity made a dent in terms of its product, it didn't matter.
See, I have, maybe I'll open maybe a sort of a conspiracy theory here, but not a conspiracy. I feel it's a lot of it is marketing too. I have a feeling that, doing this 70 okay, he did it for the art of it, but he knew it only 40 cinemas in the world have that 70 size, and we are lucky to be have two around us because IMAX is I don't know if you know, Sophia, IMAX is actually just like 30 miles away from us. The company started here
mm,
in Toronto, Mississauga.
yeah,
So Canada has seven of those, but I don't know why it was just 40. So I thought that was also a little bit about marketing too. Now everybody has that FOMO. Oh, people are traveling to some other, cities just to watch
yeah,
it. I traveled one
yeah,
hour to watch it, but I
yeah.
can't complain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Nolan is fun. I think we all know it. So now bringing Nolan energy into this live stream, I want to do this live stream basically because I know some really good people around me, and I want to connect them, but also,
Mhm.
get my brand out in a consistent way because this is what I love doing, long form,
Mhm.
and I don't want to, do anything else. So this is something that I'm also experimenting as we're doing. But since I'm in
Yeah.
the business of helping startups pitch to VCs, and that's what I do. I also wanted to touch upon the pitching aspect. While we can talk about Nolan and anything else,
Mhm.
but what you're building and how you're pitching becomes central to my live streams. Okay, so Sophia, I know you're also at relatively early stage,
Yeah.
and you also moved in from another country. So why not you first talk about what you're building and since how long you've now been building in US and why US?
Yeah. I'll give you like a little background of the story and how it started. So yes, I'm originally from Greece. I studied and worked in the UK for 3 4 years. For 3 years, I was working at Bank of New York in London, and then I was relocated in New York to lead the market structure initiative for the bank. And I stayed in New York for almost a year, and 1 month ago actually I quit my job to go full time in building time is the product that we're building, and it is a voice first personal assistant. And what the origination of this idea was, as soon as I moved to New York, I think I saw this, and we can talk a little bit later around what's the difference in those countries. But what I realized is that this is such an incredible technology. Like, AI is here to change how we work, how we operate. And I see this in my previous company. Like, there was a huge push and a lot of optimism around AI, which also led me in myself building agents and things during my weekends, which was really cool. Like, the first thing I built
Yeah,
was a little personal assistant that can help me and my friends coordinate and book our restaurants. But
yeah,
what I soon realized is that there is a whole world out there that actually 99% of people use ChatGPT as an alternative to a search engine. It's not in our habit to use agents in our daily workflows.
yeah.
So this is where I also met my co-founder, and we started interviewing people around us and understanding where's the bottleneck in people's personal lives, how we can take that workflow and make it better. And we soon realized that everyone around us has scattered notes, information, voice notes of themselves, random photos in their photos app. And we wanted to kind of transform this system of record that is everywhere into a system of action. So by
Mm-hmm.
integrating with people's workflows, we built this voice first assistant that you speak to it. And our motto is saying that your information goes somewhere. So we understand
Mm-hmm.
what's the context in what you're saying. We automatically categorize it in context threads. So everything you say about one topic lives in one thread, and we keep on building on that. We
So,
can, yeah,
so Sophia, now tell me what it can do for me, your
yeah,
product.
yeah. So you
Why
use
will I
it.
use it?
Yeah, so you will use it in order to see your information automatically going to the right place. So think about you taking a quick note about something, right? Like, you would probably, what do you use today? Let me ask you. If you have a quick thought, a meeting takeaway, what's your initial reaction? Where do you go?
I go back to my memory.
You back to
That's
your memory.
that's I'm a very different kind of guy, but I get it. I would use the Zoom notes, which I usually don't use, but I'm saying if I need some important takeaways,
Yeah.
I would use the Zoom note taker and just usually go back to it. So but I understand there's also a product recently we just posted in our community with me, Charles, everybody, called Whisper Flow.
Yeah.
So is it also something that you trying to do in that domain as well? Because everybody is trying to use voice AI agents to make personalized productivity
Mhm.
better, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the space you are in, right?
This is the space we're in. The difference between us and Whisperflow, we're not just a voice to text like platform. We actually, you voice record yourself, and we automatically categorize what you say in threads that are everything you say about one thing will always live on that place. So you don't need to
Hmm.
spend time manually categorizing, creating folders, which is the number one reason why people quit productivity apps in the first place, because of all the setup it takes. And then we understand
The
based of
pain
that,
point.
whether there's an action there. Oh, we book meetings on your calendar. Oh, we add reminders for you. So really replacing all the traditional record systems with action systems to help people. And this is what positions us to our vision, actually, which is back to my point on people not being ready to adopt AI in the way that we all want and see this vision to be truly proactive. Because if we know that you're using this product every day to store your information and we understand your daily routine, we have the opportunity to be truly proactive and also give that personal context to other agents so that they can know you and serve you better. Say that it's a specialized health agent, a work agent, some specialized agent that in the future will benefit by knowing a little bit more about you.
So this is my first reaction to it. I think what we also need to do is, like, I think zero it down to some use cases, because what happens is if it's everything to everybody, nobody
Yeah,
knows who's it's this for, right?
yeah.
So Charles, your first thoughts first. Charles is also putting on his angel investor hat.
Okay.
His look was like, oh, I'm listening. So I mean, as an angel investor, Charles, what does it sound like to you, like the opportunity?
Well, I mean, the pain points is there. I guess the challenge is there's all these companies
Mhm,
who have their own different take on productivity and how it works, and then with the plugins and everything. And
mhm.
I was listening to a limited supply podcast about them taking all their Slack notes and then putting it into their own AI database, and then pulling in meetings. And so it's like, the challenge is we have all this information from all these different sources, all these different tools. I use Apple Notes
Yeah,
just because it's just easy and it's just quick.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but actually, like, I don't even know of any agents or any sort of AI tools that will plug into Apple Notes, because Apple's kind of closed off sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge, is like, I think I joined this one thing. It was an AI for networking thing, but it was mostly for LinkedIn, and I didn't that it was like my networking happens over text. My network, like, it's not, and it's other
Yeah.
things. So it's like, LinkedIn for me is, for the most part, is like kind of dead for me these days, to
Hmm.
be honest. So
Yeah.
it's just full of like, don't pitch me, bro, vibes. So
I know.
um
This, I think, Sophia, before you answer this, and I think you have some thoughts already. The point is that we all need it. We all know that we need a personalized AI agent, because some tools only do this, some tools only
Hmm.
do that, and I still don't know which tool to use for my, like, if I want to grow this live stream, whatever I do throughout my day and how I'm building people, how I'm getting in, somebody should know. If that agent knows, then I can use it. But the problem is I don't even know which product to go out there that solves for that problem. So my
Hmm.
first thing is, I think, the concept of beachhead, right? Like, who's your initial cohort of users,
Yeah,
and what is their pain point, because you
yeah.
have to go narrower initially, and I
Mhm.
think you might be doing it. I'm happy to
Yeah.
hear your thoughts.
Yeah. So for context, we launched our beta 4 weeks ago on test flight. We're still waiting for our app store, and we have already 190 users. Plus, we have 70 people who use it weekly, right? And we have a couple of like power users, like 21 people that come 5 out of 7 days of the week. And what these people have in common is how they structure their personal life in the way that they have so much scattered information around all these Apple Notes, reminders, calendars. They are corporate professionals that this is like the profile that I also had, that you have this segregated life, that, oh, I have so many systems that make me better at my job. And then my personal life runs on like vibes and notes up and all this information that's like, um, that's scattered. And also people that have are prone to ADHD, and some of our users actually struggle with anxiety. And it's really
Yeah.
uh, nice to see that we're helping someone that has an issue today that the traditional notes app could never, because
Yeah.
they want to speak to it, but they also want to see their information organized. So it's not just about voice to text whisper flow, it's about the workflow that is voice to action, actually, is not voice to text. And Charles, you raised a really good point around LinkedIn, right? All the tech world lives on X, right? If you're not on X, you're not in tech. But here's where I come in from a background that I was just using Instagram and TikTok, and this is the audience we're actually attracting the most. All of our users come from Instagram and TikTok, which is here to say that there is a
I love it.
world out there that wants to adopt this technology in a non-intimidating way. X is intimidating. Like, this technology for so many people is intimidating, and there's so many benefits of creating a very simple workflow to improve people's daily life. And will call this a little bit of the ChatGPT and granola effect. I don't know if you've used like granola, but granola
Granola,
is a
yeah.
tool that the moment you use it, you're like, oh, it makes sense. Now I'm gonna use granola for my meetings because it just makes sense. In the
Yeah.
same way that people, as soon as ChatGPT came in and Claude, they use it as a search engine because it makes sense. So for
Yeah.
our users, using time to take their notes, reminders, and manage their calendar, it just makes sense, right? So
Wow.
this is what we see and we hear from our users, and we get a lot of
Yeah.
inbound from salespeople saying, "Hey, I'm always on the go. I can't record my meetings, but I have a quick thought. I want to record it and see it organized per client." Great, we can do that because our whole mode is that we're organized by context. And like, you can always go back to it. It's so much easier to retrieve, and you can ask your agent if you want, like, "Hey, what did I say about that topic?" Something you could
Yeah.
never do in static notes tool, right?
So Sophia, I loved the pitch, and why I said the pitch is because I love the insights you are building and the kind of details you just mentioned in just human behavior in general, right? I think that is very important for a product like this. Just understanding human behavior and
Yeah.
knowing what thing works for who, right? Right,
Mhm.
Charles. Your first thoughts, yeah, after hearing the longer pitch. Uh,
Yeah, it's like, and I know Apple Notes sucks. Like it's like the worst, but like that's where my life is. And I usually take that and then I go through it manually and then try to move it into some other thing, as you know, it's just like a rough notepad. So I got a million notes that don't make any sense, but I'm well aware that this is an inefficient workflow.
It is because it's so personal to everybody. That's why it's inefficient. But I think there can be cohorts made of the right people. And as she said, people from Instagram and TikTok are people who don't want to go to X. They are different kind of people. I mean, in fact,
Yeah.
I don't want to go on LinkedIn too much. I'm building my Instagram audience right now. I have 200 people, but I still want to focus all my time there. Is
Mhm.
because I'm just done with LinkedIn. It's just a little tiring for me. X, I've never even been to. Everybody says, "Hey, you are in tech. Why you're not an X?" I don't want to,
Yeah.
man. My work is happening on LinkedIn. I don't want to go. I don't know what to even say on X. Like, people are either shouting, and I can't. And it's not even visual. I'm a visual person, so I hate X. But I think she's right. I mean, figuring out those cohort of even from the GTM standpoint is important, right? Like, where you focus as a young founder with small team, you can't do every platform, right? You cannot go and spend energy on every platform out there. You'll burn out of time and money.
Yeah, and look, I got an X 4 weeks ago because this is where the tech community is made, the investor community, the angel
Yeah.
community. Like, you keep up with the market because
Yeah.
the innovation, I think, I see it on X, right? I've heard about all these alternatives and all the executive assistants that others are building. I get educated and see the market on X. Who's there though to sell on Instagram and and TikTok? Not many of them. And the reason is because they're building for a different audience. Our
Yeah.
insight is that we are trying to get people on a journey in adopting this technology and making their workflows better. And that's what we're betting on, building this relationship with those users and eventually getting to know them, to serve them proactively, and the story that I explained earlier.
I like it. Charles, your first thought on now the format, bringing two people together, one founder, one VC, and that too, they don't even know each other, and just maybe, making those connections happen. That's what I want to do. Are you feeling I got the right founder now?
Yeah, I mean it's a very relatable challenge.
Yeah.
I've personally thought about this myself with like, note takers when and then how that and then I'm seeing there's it's very noisy in the industry now with
Yeah,
what you're trying to do. There's the things that attach to the back of your phone.
that pocket.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I haven't tested them, so I don't know. I don't know what's good.
yeah.
Um, Like I
So
hear
so
like on podcasts, like people just say like, this is my stack. This is what I use and I integrate it here and this and this.
Mhm.
You know,
I think for a lot of people, that discovery hasn't even started. People assume that everybody is using these tools and they're all getting billion-dollar valuation. But in all honesty, there's still a large audience which hasn't even started using these tools, right?
mhm.
And in that matter, the TAM is so big. I mean, I think Charles is at the early stage of adoption. I'm even behind Charles. I don't even use a lot of the. I want to, but I give up because I don't know which tool is for me. So maybe I'll definitely be one of your beta users, Sophia, and
Yeah, for sure.
through through this live stream, there's also a community of 150 founders. I mean, small, but Charles is in it. 150 founders and VCs that I run in Toronto called the Product Folks, and yeah, I would happy to add you there. You can share about getting potential beta users. So happy to
Yeah,
support, not just from the live stream but in general as well. But what
yeah,
else can we help you with, because Charles is a very, I would say, very good designer before anything else.
okay.
If you want any feedback on just the app or the website, we can do that live and just take his thoughts if you want to do that.
We can roast our website a little bit. It's early, so it's our first take on a website, so we're gonna revamp it. But I'm happy for you
Yeah.
to showcase it here. Why not?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what's the level of honesty you want on a scale of 1 to 5?
Um, be honest. And if I don't if it's too honest, then you're not gonna create a reel out of it. That's the deal.
Okay, that's
A good
good. That's
answer.
good. That's a fair one. Actually, I like it. I'll see. I definitely say right now only, Sophia. Happy to help in any way because I
Yeah.
really like what you're building. Not just because I thought you'll be good conversation, but I really genuinely like what you're building, and I think it's a big need as well. So happy to help you in your journey. What I was showing you was your website. So what should I type?
It's
Can you send me the
try.
link?
Yeah, let me send you the link.
Let's do it.
Um, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, let's go. So, what's the name first? Let's try. Try. You
It's
say
try
try
time.
Tam.
Try time. It's called time. So we pronounce it time. We say time with an AI. So TAIM. Trytime.com.
Oh, is that the Greek way of saying time?
Yeah. No, it's
TAIM.
not. No, it's not. But this is how a Greek person would read it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Scroll down.
So this is basically now your first view, right?
Yeah, that's it. And you scroll
September
down,
beginning
we can
last
just see
month's
that
notes.
like
I love the usage of the visual behind. Okay, so I'm gonna ask my team, I think when I'm sharing my video is my audio has a lag. Were you able to hear me fine?
yeah, we were.
Mhm.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you are able to hear me, why don't somebody else share? Because my video was lagging as soon as I started share. Hold on a second. Hmm. But I meanwhile I love the first view. I loved it personally, uh, because of the aspirational point of view. I don't still know that it tells me what you do, but I think that curiosity is what I loved, because the first visual is just the possibilities, I guess, right? The possibilities of having that assistant. Charles, your
Yeah.
thoughts on the first view?
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely vibes. You know,
Vibes.
I like the scroll down where it gets bigger. It's kind of nice. I always like those. Um, you know, it gets the point across. And then actually the second visual I think is great.
Mhm,
Because and
mhm,
if because as me, like I have sometimes I'll go through, I have notes on my app from 15 years ago,
Hmm.
you know. Um,
Yeah.
a
Charles,
lot
you
of
want to
it's,
share the screen because I don't think so we can see it.
oh,
So
sure. Here, you want me to share? Oh, it's a request.
yeah, if you can. Issue on my end. Uh, my demo broke. Sorry, guys. This. Are you able to share
Yeah,
now? Let's see.
there we go.
Thank you, man. Coming to the rescue.
No problem. You can see my screen?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, this is I mean, it's a simple value
Yep.
proposition. I guess the whole thing is that you're somebody who uses these tools, but not to the full advantage, or writes something down and then forgets it existed. Um, so, you just have this idea at the time, it pops in your head. I think you asked, Sophia, you asked Chetan that question. I do, like, I make notes all the time. I've
Yeah.
already made a bunch of notes, just how my brain works. If I think of something else that's not
Yeah.
even related to this conversation, pops into my head, I just, but I want to stay present. I just like make a quick note, you know.
Correct. And the idea, and like this is good feedback for us as we think about the usage, is that every time I want to take a note, I just used to open my notes up, just pop it there, zero context, and then gets lost. The
Mhm.
idea here is that you would do exactly the same thing. Your behavior doesn't change, you don't need to organize it, but time will
Mhm.
understand what the context is of what you're saying, and will automatically group it where it belongs, right?
My notes are so non sequitur. If time can figure it out, it's like I
Time
can't
will
even
figure
I
it
can't
out.
even figure it
That's
out.
it. That's it. Time will figure it out, and will understand if something is there that needs to be on your calendar, on your task list for a day, or also remind you about it. Because
Yeah.
by knowing what you care about, this is how we can be truly proactive, and this is how we're gonna rise through the noise from the note takers that you mentioned. Because we don't want to create a transcription tool or a system of record, but a system of action. So
Hmm.
all of that is contextualized, and then we can take actions for you, and you name it. In the future, you can even list your favorite restaurants, and we can monitor when is there's the next availability, and also coordinate with your friends, because you can also share threads with your friends.
Yeah.
But we're just laying down this foundation to help people to solve a pain, right?
Hmm.
Because building an executive assistant that books your restaurant, what I wanted to do in the first place, is not a painkiller. It's like a
Hmm.
nice vitamin that excites me, but people
Hmm.
didn't want this.
Hmm.
So that's the market we're attracting, and it seems like you would be a great user for us. So just love for you to try it yourself.
Yeah. No, does it integrate with Apple Notes?
So it doesn't integrate yet, but it's something we can certainly do in terms of adding all of your notes so that you can see them organized. There are a
Yeah.
couple of ways that you can do it, like go on Apple Notes and export it and then add on time. This can happen. But
Right.
for now, the use case is like really like you can just start voice recording or texting, and the new notes will
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah. I mean, Apple Notes is not a great app, but it's fast.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't. It's like even that split second of boot time between like Apple Notes and like OneNote or something like that. Apple
Mm,
Notes, because it's just native, and yeah, I'm sucked into the Apple ecosystem, but it's just like it's fast. So
yeah.
it's like I need a piece of paper, like it's basically having a pen and paper like right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Fair.
But I know it sucks.
Yeah.
Worst
Well,
functionality ever.
yeah, yeah. So how we can beat that is that we have a widget. You can have it on your home screen, as I do
Yeah.
have, and you tap it, and time automatically pops up.
Yeah.
So
Um,
we
and I
can beat
think,
this later.
one thing I've seen, and I guess it's probably to do with how these AI models are built,
Hmm.
but they tend to take what you're saying at face value, whereas humans tend to clarify. So like if you said something to me and I wasn't sure exactly what you meant, I'd be like, did you mean this or this? Or like before I give you an answer,
Yeah,
I need to ask some follow-up questions. And what I find oftentimes is AI doesn't ask the relevant follow-up questions, it answers in a
Mhm.
way where I was like, no, that's not what I meant. It's sort of like the difference between an intern who doesn't ask the right questions versus
Mhm.
an experienced employee. And I guess that's sort of, when you think about predictive language models, like that's not how they're built, but this
Mhm.
is especially with the Notes app, which is very much like I write one or two lines and maybe in my head I know what it means, but to expect an AI to know what I mean would be a big leap.
Mhm. Yeah, look, the good thing about it is that the better the AI models get, the better our product is gonna get.
Hmm.
So for us, that's like a good like promise for the future. And the second thing is that our goal with time is not to actually do so much back and forth if you don't want to. Is really I want to dump my information and see it organized. There's one workflow that is that, and there's a second one that is you actually chat with and you ask things about your notes and what you've said.
Hmm.
So it seemed like the first issue that you say about AI not asking the right questions, you wouldn't have it because time wouldn't ask you if you just want to add your information down. But you're raising a good point, which yeah, it's not that deterministic. AI is not deterministic. It's hard to like ask the right question, but it's only gonna get better.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, as it gets more data, like as I've been
Yeah,
using ChatGPT to get it does pull more context
yeah,
in ways where it does remember things.
yeah.
But it's like people's brains are so non sequitur and they'll just put like a word down.
Hmm.
And not even I remember half the shit that I write down and what
Yeah,
it means.
yeah.
I should be
And
better at that.
And now that you mentioned ChatGPT, we also integrate with them through our MCP, right? And everything you say on ChatGPT or Cloud, you can say, okay, push this on time. You do a huge
Mm.
brainstorming session, and then
So
it
that was-
gets lost in that ChatGPT thread. You can say, add this on time, and then it will create a thread or will add it to a context that is similar to what you were saying on time. And then
Mm.
you go on Cloud, and you can use that information there. So it also acts as your personal context base in that
Mm.
sense.
Okay. I guess we'll scroll down here, see what's next. Oh, uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I'm just mostly pulling from personal experience here, but yeah, I like even prioritizing and then being reminded. Like I put on my Slack, I put, hey, if you need something from me and it's time sensitive, please text or call me. And even if you're texting me to say, hey, look at Slack, which I know is really silly, but like I'm not on Slack all day, and then
Mhm.
sometimes my team needs me for something. So um I would love like even if I have to set an alarm on my phone
Yeah.
for meetings. Like I set an alarm on my phone for 5 minutes before this call.
Mhm. Yeah.
But if I don't remember to put the alarm in my phone, these things should be automated in a way because if the call
Correct.
happens and I'm distracted, like I'll forget or I'll jump on late and it's rude or little things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. And these are the little things we want to catch, right?
Uh-huh.
Because time has like your notes, your calendar, reminders. It's all in one place. Connects to you could have seen your meeting there as well because it's integrated with your calendars. And if
Mhm.
this is a workflow you like, it will always remind you about a meeting 5 minutes before, etc.
Mhm.
So yeah, we can do that.
Charles, thank you for taking it while I was switching my laptops. You guys didn't realize that I had to.
Oh yeah, no worries.
My laptop didn't work. I made you the host and quickly left. I think it's still on, but I had to join from another device. But Sophia, I'll definitely use the product. I think I like at least the founder mindset and what you're building and why you're building. That I like. Rest, I will use it. We'll share with community. You'll get more feedback from us for
Great.
sure. And yeah, every time we have like a potential good amount of people joining in, you can always join and talk about your product, because we keep bringing these people together who have common problems, 0 to
Hmm.
1 problems. They need to get to their first 500 users, they need to get their first cohort right, beta users. So we we see that across, that's why the product folks, the community is built to help you in that journey, in the product
Yeah.
journey. So yeah, happy to chat. Charles, if you want to stop screen share, I think just so that the video is recorded and has your
Okay.
face as well. Uh, so, Sophia, I know you have a hard stop at 1:45, but firstly, hope this feedback was helpful, and Charles was honest, and you don't have to, basically think about what's said on at least this live stream. Was it helpful for you?
Yeah, it was super helpful. Thank you. And it's good to see how others, how your workflows are and where you think that there is a gap and if a space is crowded or if you would see yourself using it. But it's always like nice to hear people's like experience and workflow. So thanks for having me.
You're welcome. No, I mean, I have multiple workflows. So if I like your product, I'll be your heavy user because,
Okay, great.
there's so many things going on. My agency now, this live stream, and just raising a 2-year-old has its own work streams, right? So I'll definitely be your heavy user. Thanks for joining in. We do a sort of a small ritual before, we usually close the live stream, but since you're leaving, we say a little prayers, to the universe, for making it happen without being too religious, more about, to the universe that made this happen, the session happen. I hope it was helpful for everybody who joined in, but also just the connections matter more than anything else, I think. So thank you, universe, for making, these connections happen. And hopefully Charles and, Sophia, whatever they're building and whatever they want to do in the next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, hope, they get that because they definitely deserve it. And yeah, peace in the world. Amen.
Thank
Amen.
you. Thank you.
Awesome.
It's
Take
great to
care.
chat. Thanks, Charles.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Sophia.
Bye.
Bye bye. I made you leave right on time. See?
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Okay, we Charles, thanks for doing this on the floor. You didn't know what to expect though, right? He was like, okay, let's do it. Chetan is called. It's a conversation.
Yeah, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yeah, that's the. Do you like the vibe of this live stream? What can be done to make it even better?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's a fun conversation. I guess the question is just like, what's your goal of the live stream? Um, if
Well, my
it's
goal.
yeah.
Yeah, see that first. I think you're saying something.
Well, like, is it more obviously one of them would be more viewers, but having a specific angle.
Yeah.
Um, is it products? Is it startups? Is it this? Is it that? Is it, so
Okay. Do you want me to answer that? I can do that. Like just to
yeah, sure.
just to get your first thoughts on that as well. So I basically started this because I feel that I need to be consistent around my schedule. Okay, I need to be consistent in creating content and if sorting the distribution, if I can say. But distribution is not even that big exciting for me. It's more the content creation I love doing for the love of it, and then I want to be consistent. So I thought, the only way to do is do long form, which I enjoy, which I
Mhm.
can just come and talk every day. So currently it's just about being consistent and with an intent to also add value of for the people who come in. For example, day one we did cold calling, sort of 101, and actually we plan to make cold calls for some founders with some cold call specialists. So that's like value while being on live stream, right?
Mhm.
And then next day can be about just pitch tear down, like somebody coming in, 3 people, and I bring VCs from anywhere in the world, from US, and my connections are in all 3 countries. I mean, they can practice their pitch, they can make that connection happen, and then every day add value. I think the viewers and all that is kind of secondary. I think it will flow. I'm not chasing numbers like millions of followers, but I'm chasing value coming out of each day, these conversations that are happening.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think you'll, if you're indexing correctly with right now, you're casting a wide net on your topics and you're indexing, and then you'll kind of get a sense of what they're looking for. This isn't your primary means of income or anything like that. It's more, like you said, for your own personal growth. At the same time, you can definitely try to marry that with what people want to hear. But
Yeah.
I think you'll find that out in time if you're putting this up on places and having people listen to it, and hopefully they find some value.
Yeah, my crazy idea is that, I built the whole company with just 1 hour a day of live streaming, no other
Mhm.
work. I retire, and I mean, there's obviously work and coordination getting the guests, but I can have a team for that. So I'm just coming and talking for 2 hours, 3 hours a day,
Mhm.
and with all my knowledge and trying to make these connections happen, maybe deals happen, maybe sales deals happen, maybe
Mhm.
pole pitching, and so that's the aim. Using your network and your love for just discussions and topics.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, feedback is important. So I took that whatever is working, what's not, we will eventually know. But talk to us about what's happening at specifically your product, and we can focus both on first angels and product. But first, the product. What is the priority these days?
What is the what these days? Sorry, you cut
The
out.
priority between the brand and the first angels.
Yeah, so I guess it's just yeah, I have a few investors in already, but it's very much like the Canadian ecosystem, especially right now for something that's not, a fully tech play, is you really have to catch the right people at the right moments and wow them with something, especially early on. So I have a friends and family round and they're just basically investing in me. But even with that too, you got to sell them on the idea that this is going to be good because they could even though I have good friends, there are I don't you still have to instill in them the
Yeah.
trust of your money. I mean,
Yeah, that's different, right? Like even asking for them, it's actually harder, because now they're trusting you, but they also want to know what's happening. They're very less angel people or maybe friends which are like, hey, take $20,000, whatever you're doing, it's fine. But they'll still ask you once, right? Like, what you doing, man? What's the plan?
yeah, and I thought, I mean, I guess one of the challenges too is not I'm not a first time founder, but I'm going outside of my comfort zone with what I'm building now. It's like it's different, but I don't have imposter syndrome. I have the opposite. So, um, but I think that means that, but I'm also honest with myself in the way I talk about it. And I think people sometimes want a level of confidence
Yeah,
that you got to hype this up as like this is a great opportunity and and with me it's like I think it's a great opportunity, but I also know a lot that I know enough to know that I don't know a lot, so
yeah.
I'm my strategy from a holistic entrepreneur perspective is surround yourself with the right people, understand your shortcomings. Like I have way more wisdom than like my first start. My first start was a speed dating company.
Oh, really? How long ago was this?
This was in like uh 2007. So this was like 20 years ago.
2007. Wow.
Yeah.
You made a sweet dating company in 2007. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, this is pre-apps.
Yeah, pre-app.
You know,
Apps were just launched that time. 2007 was when iPhone came out, right? And it took a
yeah, and
time
like
to get the apps out. I mean, in especially dating.
yeah, by 2009, Grinder was out, and I
Okay.
remember a friend of mine was on. He moved to Montreal with me, and then he was using Grinder for his own needs. And I looked at the app and I said, "Oh my God, when straight people figure this out, it's gonna blow up," because
Yeah.
you know, and it did eventually. But like Grinder
Mhm.
was way ahead of their time. If you wanna keep your ear to the ground for certain innovations, that's a good community. The gay community is always like a little bit ahead of their time in a lot of ways. So
That's such an interesting insight. I actually never thought about it that way. You're right, because in terms of style and general taste,
there's a lot of
uh,
things,
yeah, yeah,
they're trendsetters in a lot of ways. So, and I remember seeing Grindr thinking, oh my God, when straight people get over their own shit, this is going to be huge. And of course, it led to Tinder,
Yeah.
Bumble, and Hinge, and all those things. So
Oh, so so
Grindr was
Grinder
great.
gave them all the idea, the
Oh,
validation, the early validation. I didn't.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it started, I guess, like sites like websites like Plenty of Fish and stuff, but also even with that, like the gay community was I think like much more open to different types of things, and I think guess it's just the reality of being gay in certain parts of the world, and then
Yeah.
and then but there's always then straight people sort of say eventually it becomes socially acceptable. And now you see like 60% of marriages happen through online dating now. It's like who would have
Yeah.
20 years ago that was insane.
That was insane. Yeah, yeah. Funny how dating is changing. How's yours coming along?
I'm
Uh
engaged now.
oh, you are? When did
Yeah.
that happen, man?
A few weeks ago. Yeah.
Dude, how come I have no idea? Okay, congratulations,
Yeah.
man.
Thank
I
you.
thought we didn't talk. So good you came to this
Yeah.
live stream today to just tell me this news. I'm very happy. Obviously, I met her, but that time was just a very short meeting
Yeah.
at your place.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how did you both meet? I think she also runs a like a marketplace, I guess, or
Yeah. She runs commongoods.ca. It's an e-commerce aggregator for Canadian brands.
Mhm.
It's growing really fast, and I think it's funny because what I'm doing now with the underwear is it's something that I validated from an entrepreneur opportunity perspective, but not necessarily from an industry knowledge perspective, either for e-commerce. I know I do have a small background in e-commerce, but not
Mhm.
a ton, and it was actually like 2014, 2015 was when I was heavy into e-commerce. So obviously the game has changed a ton since then.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is fashion and clothing. And my fiance is a former fashion designer and costume designer. So that's what she went to school for. And so she has a really, and she ran a successful Kickstarter for a company called Watson Pack dot
Okay.
dot com. So they have a very cool backpack because she started that whole thing, designed the backpack, and that's a way more technical product than what I'm building. Um
Yeah, really? The
so it's
bags, right? What is the brand called? I think I've heard about it.
a Watson pack. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
WatsonPack.com. It's a very cool backpack.
Okay.
She did a cool Kickstarter. I think she's still it still runs, but I think the challenge really is it's a heavily engineered bag. So either you
Yeah.
scale it and you
Yeah.
spend the money um to grow it that way, or it sort of
Yeah.
has a plateau in how well it can do.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that those very strong iPhone cases. Remember the brand that used to come for
Otterbox?
yeah, Autobox.
Yeah.
I think I feel like they would have plateaued. I don't know, I may be wrong, but I mean,
Mhm.
what do you do after a while with a certain niche, right?
Yeah, and especially because of your cogs, there's like in her case with Watson Pack, my understanding was like there's a lot of like little like there's lots of nuts and bolts and like technical details to the backpack. Like it's very technical.
Yeah.
It's a super nerdy backpack. You like hit a
Yeah.
button and the backpack opens up, and
Yeah.
it's very stylish.
Yeah,
But
type it for me. I'll check it out if you can
yeah,
type it for me. Maybe I
and
know the brand and might have missed it. That's super cool though. Yash, are you here? Hearing from a designer. Yash
Yeah,
is joining in from India. You almost look like you're in a maths class or something. What's going on there? This
this is
background.
actually like a cutting board that designers use. So I thought it would be cool to just use it as a background.
Really cool, really
Yeah.
cool. So Yash, work has already. Charles, I think you saw the portfolio. Did you get a chance to?
I did. Yeah, it's
Uh,
fun.
it was.
Hi, Charles.
What's your first honest feedback? Let's jump right in.
I
Get
got
a.
hungry for burritos.
You got hungry for burritos. Oh, nice. That that
Yeah,
that did the job then, I
yeah.
guess.
You'll
That at
have to
least you
go
got
to
hungry.
you'll have to go to Mauritius for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, damn, I could go for a Bollywood burrito. That hits all of my triggers there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Yash has been working with us for I think 5 years now. It was COVID. He was in 11th grade. He's like, my brother-in-law, and I kind of asked him, "Hey, what are you doing with your life? Like, what are you gonna do?" He used to draw things. I'm like, "Hey, come in and do decks. You want to learn some design? Do that." And he picked up that opportunity in COVID, and he learned. I think the first thing he learned, which is on his own, in school, was with no formal education, was doing presentations, right? Storytelling and presentation and the visualization of the decks. He was really good. So I'm like, keep working, man. I mean, you're a permanent intern. I don't mind you working and doing really this good work, which even some senior designers were not able to do. So I think he had that talent, and then he went to school, right? And Yash, you can tell more about you before Charles gives you a little more feedback on how you can build a studio.
Yeah. Hi, Charles. So basically, yeah, that was the preset Chetan gave me. Thank you for, giving such an amazing introduction. First of all, congratulations on your engagement. Very good to hear. And I was
Thank
just
you.
checking out the Watson pack. It looks like a very cool backpack. I would like to have it. Yeah. So basically, after like working with Honest Create, I'm doing this degree in undergrad right now, which is basically called Global Design Program, in which we have to go to like three different countries in the span of 4 years. So I've been to like Melbourne in Australia and Milan in Italy. I've interned both of the places there in two branding studios. One is Courland in Melbourne and another is Milan Lateral Studio. So
Mhm.
yeah, now after gaining a little bit of experience, and it has been like 5 or 6 years since I started with Chetan in my professional journey now. So yeah, just thinking of, how can I navigate it into my best uh, way possible going ahead.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting time with I mean, do you do mostly graphic design?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I was introduced to graphic design in a presentation design format only by Chetan, because before that I just used to draw and paint. And then now I've kind of made my niche into brand design and brand activation,
Mhm.
let's say. And UI
He's been
UX,
doing
I also,
websites. Yeah, he's been doing our
yeah,
clients' websites. I mean, pretty good work, I feel. And he wants to start on his own. I'm like, I mean, happy to help in any way, right? Like, because if you can start right now at 21, better than doing it later on. I mean, he could have actually taken an internship or a job, in that also you can guide that if he still needs to work for like a branding studio, or like a top one in back in India or even in Canada, he's coming here for some months. So
Mhm.
yeah,
That's great, very cool.
the path is looking fine. Charles,
Yeah, yeah, I mean that's great. It's I mean I think you just got to keep working on your craft, thinking
yeah,
about like I think especially now with AI, um like there's a few things. One is that you really have to understand your client's needs and
yeah,
understand things on a deeper level. It's not just about the visuals. It's why it works. It's very like I think roles are collapsing in on themselves. So,
yeah,
because you're able to do more, and
yeah,
I think the tools give you that ability. So, but if you're absorbing it, the
yeah,
winners will win. It's sort of is now becoming more of a zero-sum game when it comes to design work. And the
yeah,
second thing, just because I started an agency in 2014, sold it in 2021. But the biggest thing, and I've seen um, a million different ways to do this, but it's just trust and relationships so that you're front of mind when people have an
yeah,
idea. And if you're front of mind and they're like, oh, we liked working with Yash, great,
yeah.
call him.
Hmm.
because
Makes sense.
if your vibes match also, right? I mean, design people can still get to, but your way of approaching the client's needs, asking the
Yeah,
right questions, and of course, being presentable, and they should like you also. There's also a degree of likability, right? Like, and that only happens because if you spend time, you have that trust in that person. I think there's still the soft part of it that won't go out no matter how much AI
Never.
everybody's gonna use,
It's
right?
the only thing that really matters after AI takes over everything.
Yeah, it's the only thing that matters, right? So by the way, his you why don't you talk about your name of the agency quickly, and let me check with Charles first because 2 o'clock. Charles, how much
Yeah.
time do you have before you want
Yeah,
to
I've
jump
got
off?
I've got a few more minutes. My fiance's on
Okay.
the roof, so I gotta go see her in a bit. But
Oh yeah, then we won't leave you, but you're gonna keep coming here, right? So I mean, I'm gonna do it
yeah,
every day one,
yeah, I'm happy
so
to
we
pop in
can.
again.
Yeah, happy when I have maybe another potential exciting founder for you or maybe an investor for you. I'm
Hmm.
gonna invite you again.
Yeah, and
So
you can rip
talk about.
apart my deck and my website when it's out too.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
that. When is that coming out?
The website should be a few weeks. I mean, the deck is well, the current version of the deck is there, and I've been trying to improve it, and also just thinking about different angles depending on like who I'm reaching out to.
Yeah. It's
Um,
always about that as well, right? That story keeps changing depending on who you're going to. But I think you and me can talk that later, just like to know what's in your mind and
mhm,
if it can be translated in a certain way. Only when you
mhm.
try that out, even if I tell you do this, can still both minds work together, but we have to try it out. And
Yeah.
then based on the reaction, we come back and sort of make it even better. So let's chat on that separately. But Yash, why don't you quickly talk about the name and just take his
Yeah.
thoughts on that, the name and why that name.
Yeah, so basically, exactly at what you were saying about that roles are collapsing in the age of AI. So I think now, somebody will hire someone for branding and somebody will hire somebody else for brand strategy. That is going to be like very rare, and somebody who can do something both. So that's how I came up with my name. It's like it's called Studio Marinate, which is
Mhm.
like before coming onto visuals or any graphic thing, we marinate your thoughts, we marinate your raw materials, which is, what you're bringing onto the table as a brand, as a positioning, and then we kind of create your branding or any kind of graphical assets after putting your strategy first. So yeah,
And
that's
marination before cooking, enough good
yeah,
marination. That's the angle I like. That it has
yeah,
enough good marination, because that's what matters when the final chicken is cooked, right?
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's a uh good visual.
yeah,
Um, I find uh I find it's hard to in your field to set yourself apart because like that value proposition in so many words is like what they're all they all sort of do it. I think at
yeah,
the end of the day it's like you have to walk the walk.
yeah,
Um um and also like and I just want to flag this is like a thing. Do you know the Geert Hofstede cultural dimensions?
no,
No.
So it's here, I'll just drop it in the chat. It's really fun.
Hmm.
And it's just one of these things, the culture. Basically, he measured on from a business perspective, this guy, he did a like or his organization um studied different countries and cultures. And it goes back to like there's also a TV show about this and stuff, and they're saying like, why is it that like South Korea has a high number of plane crashes, and even though they have the same gear and stuff like that, and sometimes and they sort of they're looking into like cultural reasons for this, right? And it's where if there's a high power distance, so there's a lot of there's different um, different scores different dimensions from each culture. So there's power distance, individualism, motivation towards achievement, uncertainty avoidance, long-term orientation, or like time orientation and indulgence. And every culture is a little different. And I think
mhm,
um, like one of the if you look at a place like Sweden, it's a very low power distance, so you're working and your boss is here, and if you have a thought or you have some input, you could just be like, hey boss, I had a thought, and the boss is going to be like, cool,
yeah,
well received. That's like a power distance kind of thing.
okay,
And and then there's other cultures where they don't necessarily have that, and your boss is so far ahead that you don't even want to say anything to question them. That's often the
yeah,
times when like plane crashes could be avoided because there's usually a senior pilot and a junior pilot.
Yeah.
Um,
oh,
So all this goes to say like when you're um this goes back to like vibing with clients and understanding how they work and
Yeah.
also thinking about what is their culture and how they want to work with you um
Hmm.
and then also just knowing like you come from a culture where it may be different from what your client's culture is. And this is something
Yeah.
that I put a lot of thought on. And then also like, Canada's funny because like we're just such a mix of
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
But we still have our like, our lens with which we look at the world. So I find this stuff you can go down the rabbit hole. You can put in two different countries and then like compare them on the site, and
Yeah.
it's like it's really fun. So, and it's what I would do with my clients too. If I had clients and they were from somewhere else, which oftentimes in Canada is the case, I'm gonna put them
Yeah.
in here and then see and try to get a sense of like how they're looking at the world.
Oh man, that's such a
That's
good
a very
advice.
nice insight. Yeah, that's a very great insight. Like when he was telling about Sweden, I was checking the India's power distance. It's like I think the highest, I guess it's 77 or something. That's
Yeah,
very like how much hierarchy we have in our businesses, like in if you see
Yeah.
the bigger picture. So yeah, very, very nice insight.
Not
yeah,
just a nice insight, bro. I mean, we don't lie. It's a fucking great insight. I must say,
Yes.
So
Okay.
it,
Okay.
it was really cool to know this because we never did
Totally.
that. I mean, just to as you said, understand their culture better and approach them a similar way. A lot of it in any service company or agency is just about
Yeah.
how you handle people, right? How you build those
Mhm.
relationships and trust.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of companies or a lot of people will appreciate when juniors really take ownership and they speak up. And I think
Yeah,
I would say the knock on from a Canadian perspective, the knock on people from India is they don't question them. And they say
Yeah.
like, and then later when the outcome isn't good, the person from India just thinks I followed the directions. And the person from Canada is like, man, they should have asked me follow-up questions or pushed back on things.
yeah.
And
Mm.
if you can develop, and I think, and this is of course, this is very much a generalization. So this is not, and there's
Yeah.
in any direction. So it's mostly just understanding where you come from and like how you can better vibe with clients. And like personally, that's something like I try to have a very low power distance, especially because I'm doing something new and I know nothing about this. So I surround myself with people who can be like, I don't think what you're doing, here's why I think you're wrong, and I've thought about your problem, and here's a better solution. And then like at least it's a form of discussion, right? And then like some cultures they don't really encourage that kind of discussion.
Oh
It's
yeah,
very
we know a lot about it, and in fact, me and Yash we keep talking why design is not so big in India because
yes.
tech is big in India, but India has a beautiful, vibrant culture. So it doesn't make any sense that why are there no more designers from India, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Comparatively, India is not first thing that'll come to mind for somebody to hire a designer in Toronto, for example, an
Yeah.
Indian designer.
Yeah.
But if he's really good, he must be really good because he's gone through so much of culture and everything in India. So I mean there's so much more to India, which probably is a problem to not like come with more quantity of great designers. There's still very good great designers, but we'll talk about it maybe some other day when your fiance is not waiting upstairs. Charles.
Yeah, no,
but
it's
but I think it's a good session,
No.
and it's a good discussion to have. So next time you come in, I think Yash, you should bring in 20 more design students and they should listen from
Yeah.
Charles. It's such a good information.
yeah, I know it's just it's interesting having had a design agency and hired people from
Hmm.
all over the world. Like we were super diverse. And then
Hmm.
seeing and then not just like and designers, developers, project managers, right? And you're always just trying to think about like, well, everybody sees the world differently, right? And you
Yeah.
see and it's these some things are very, very subtle too. Um
Yeah.
like if you look at long-term orientation, it's funny because you look at Japan, right?
Yeah.
And you look at like a company like Nintendo, and like
Yeah.
Japan thinks 100 years in the future, you know?
Yeah.
So they're like, we're okay with where we are today. We're planning for the 23rd century, you know, versus other countries where they're just like, no, live in the moment.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
it's now or never, with fatalism,
But
Yeah.
which also interestingly, both the things can actually lead to amazing designs,
Yep.
right? Because being relaxed also is needed to be in the moment to create certain, like Italy is
Yeah.
famous for designers, right? Because their culture is very different
Yeah.
than
Hmm.
Japanese culture. So
Hmm.
it's so fascinating to all these things, how the other culture nuances make a difference in
Yeah.
the overall this thing, right?
What was that game? Death Stranding, right? I never played it, but I watched some of the gameplay online and I read the reviews. It's really funny because that famous Japanese
uh
game designer, and I think
Okay.
they're coming out. I think A24 actually just optioned the movie for it.
Wow.
Um,
Oh,
but
wow.
um they the gameplay is like a lot of like you're a guy and you're the delivery guy, and a
Yeah.
lot of it is like running for a long period of time over the mountains, and it's beautiful, but it's a
Wow.
lot of like just going from point A to point B.
Yeah.
and and because in Japan they're like, yes, the journey is important, versus like Americans are like, how come I can't shoot anything, like this is boring, you know
Yeah.
and it was
Oh,
a very successful game because people sort of got into it, and also it had like worldwide appeal. But it was very funny
Yeah.
to see that lens of like, no, no, the point is the journey. The point
Yeah.
is you have to work from like you have to travel the
Yeah.
continent,
Yeah.
hmm.
It's
you
like how it's also in another way how yoga pants or yoga in general is sold in Canada and US versus how it's sold in India,
know.
right? It is like it's yoga, but now it's so much commercialized about how you look in yoga, this whole hot yoga and all those things. Whereas in India, it's about your inner peace. You meditate, you kind of be at peace in life. It's not like you do this, yeah, all these different exercises, right? So it's just sold in a different way to both the audience, kind of like,
Hmm.
some people don't relate to it. So for a long time, yoga brands like in India, how come they never thought about selling it in US? Because they don't have that culture, right? For them,
Hmm.
yoga was something else. And then suddenly, you know,
Then
Lululemon
white
comes
people
in.
discovered yoga.
Yeah. And then white people are now talking about yoga and everybody is saying like, what's happening, right? So it's just different
Yeah,
ways of understanding these concepts. But good discussion. I think we should do more of these Friday vibes,
Yeah.
design
Right.
vibes, bring in more designers. Charles, I would love to connect to some, you know, designers in the local ecosystem, for students in India to learn, people like Yash
yeah,
to learn
sure.
more from
I can
them.
uh I can hit up my old designers from my patio days who are very talented, and they'd be happy to chat.
Yeah, nice. But you have to come again first. I mean,
Yeah,
I need to help you as much as today you helped everybody here.
appreciate that.
And
Yeah,
and
gotta get
and
this
I will,
underwear off the ground.
yeah, yeah, we will help you getting the right investor someday on one of these live stream for you.
Sure.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for doing this.
Sounds good. I appreciate your time. It was nice to meet you, everybody on the call as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. All
Thank
our
you so
designers are
much.
hiding behind, but they are the ones behind this, so they must be listening in very nicely what you just said. Thank you so much, Charles.
All right, take care.
Cheers,
Thank
man. You're the
you.
great. Bye.
Have
Take
a
care.
good
Bye.
day. Bye-bye.